Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodhanandana Brajachana Ranjana. Nandana Brajachana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodhanandana Brajachana Ranjana. Yashodhana Brajachana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodhanandana Brajachana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jai Radha Radha Nat Radha, Radha Nat Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupara Paramhamsa Privaracharya Asatasara Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupara Paramhamsa Parivaracharya Asatasara Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radharadhanath ki jai. Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Giri Raj Govardhana ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we're reading from Krishna book, chapter 32. It's entitled Krishna's Return to the Gopis. So we understand that previously Krishna left the Gopis, and because of their pride, and they thought that Krishna was dancing only with them. So now he left them and he went away, and now he returns to the Gopis. So we'll read this chapter and try to explain wherever I can with the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. So Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. When Lord Krishna finally reappeared among the assembled gopis, he looked very beautiful, just befitting a person with all kinds of opulences. In the Brahma Samhita it is stated, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratipavitabis. Krishna alone is not particularly beautiful, but when his energy, especially his pleasure energy, represented by Radharani, expands, he looks very magnificent. The Mayavad conception of perfection and absolute truth without potency is due to insufficient knowledge. Actually, outside the exhibition of his different potencies, the absolute truth is not complete. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa means that his body is a transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge. Krishna is always surrounded by different potencies, and therefore he is perfect and beautiful. We understand from the Brahma Samhita and Skanda Purana that Krishna is always surrounded by many thousands of goddesses of fortune. The gopis are all goddesses of fortune, and Krishna took them hand in hand on the bank of the Yamuna. So I'll just comment as I'm going along, because this purport is quite long. So we see that here Krishna's form is being described, and it is being stated here that Krishna alone is not particularly beautiful, but when his energy, especially his pleasure energy, is represented by Srimati Radharani. So together with his pleasure potency, he looks even more beautiful. So in the Brahma Samhita also it is being stated, Venam Vanvantam Arabrinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Shamasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Kotika Maniya Visesha Sobam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we see that this verse we sing every morning during greetings when the Lord appears at 7 o'clock. So we sing this verse, and it's a very beautiful verse describing the Lord's form. So the Lord's form is so beautiful. Venam Vanvantam. He is always adept on playing on a flute, and the flute is always giving out beautiful music and attracting the thousands and thousands of living entities to his lotus feet. So Venam Vanvantam Arabrinda Dalayataksham. He wears this, his eyes are actually very beautiful, like the lotus petal. Aksha means eyes. So his eyes are very beautiful, like the lotus petal. And the lotus petal, we know that it is soft and it is very fragrant, and it is shaped like Krishna's eyes as well. So this form is actually very beautiful. His eyes are being described as very, very beautiful. Just now when the deity is open, you can see Krishna's eyes and Krishna's form actually. And then Barhavatamsham Asitam Buddha Sundarangam. He's wearing this peacock feather in his hair, right? And he looks even more beautiful. And his body is tinged with the hue of blue clouds. And and he basically stands in a threefold bending form. And it is being described in the purport that this is not a fanciful creation of someone's imagination, this form of Krishna. It's not a creation of someone's fanciful imagination, right? It is exactly what Brahma saw in his pure devotional service as he was meditating on the Lord. This is what he saw in his meditation, the form of Krishna. So we can understand that Brahma just didn't create this form, just like that, because he saw some beautiful. He created this world, right? And so Brahma did not take out any beautiful things of this world and form the Lord of Krishna. No, he actually, in his pure devotion, he saw the form of the Lord, and this is how he's describing the Lord, right? Playing on a flute, his body is tinged with the hue of blue clouds, his eyes are like the lotus petals, and so on and so forth. He's wearing peacock feather in his hair. So in this way, this is what Brahma saw in his meditation. So let's continue reading. It is said in the Skanda Purana that out of many thousands of gopis, 16,000 are prominent. Out of those 16,000 gopis, 108 are especially prominent. Out of these 108, 8 are still more prominent, and out of the 8 gopis, Radharani and Chandravali are even more prominent. And out of these 2 gopis, Radharani is the most prominent. Right, so we see that there's 16,108 gopis, and then from them, it comes to Radharani. It's like watered down to the most beautiful and the most attractive gopi is Radharani. So we understand from Krishna book that these gopis, in the previous lives, they were. When Lord Ramachandra was here, they appeared as well, but they appeared as sages in the Naimisharanya forest, and they desired Krishna or Lord Ramachandra as their husband, or as their lover. But obviously, they could not. Lord Ramachandra only he took the Ekya Patni vow. That means that he actually accepted only one wife, so he couldn't accept them. But when Lord Krishna came, then he accepted many, many wives, and he reciprocated with the love of his devotees. So in the spiritual world, there's 4 types of ways that one can love Krishna, and they have this different relationships with Krishna. One has a friend, has a lover, has a parent. Yes, has a parent, and in a passive state and in a neutral state. So in this way, this is one of the ways they love Krishna, in a conjugal rasa, has a lover. So, obviously when Krishna came, then he reciprocated with those sages from the previous age, and now they took birth in Vrindavan, and they became his gopis. And we see later on, the 16,000, there were 16,000 princesses that were kidnapped by Jarasandha, and they were put into a cave. And in this way, so these sages, basically, they were these princesses, and they were put into this cave. And then, when Krishna went to rescue them, and he told them, right now you can go back to your kingdoms. And they said, no, like, who's going to marry us? Because we're touched by another man. So like Jarasandha, and then Krishna came to rescue them. So how can we go back home? So Krishna married all of them, right? And he made them his wives, like that. So let's continue reading. When Krishna entered the forest on the bank of the river Yamuna, the moonlight dissipated the surrounding darkness due to the season. Flowers like the kunda and kadamba were blooming, and a gentle breeze was carrying their aroma. Due to the aroma, the bees were also flying in the breeze. The bees were also flying in the breeze, thinking that the aroma was honey. The gopis made a seat for Krishna by leveling the soft sand and placing cloths over it. The gopis who were gathered there had almost all been followers of the Vedas. In their previous births, during the Ramachandra's event, okay, this is coming up now, they had been Vedic scholars who desired the association of the Lord Ramachandra in conjugal love. Ramachandra had given them the benediction that they would be present for the advent of Lord Krishna, and he would fulfill their desires. During Krishna's advent, the Vedic scholars took birth in the shape of gopis in Vrindavan. As young gopis, they got the association of Krishna in fulfillment of their previous birth's desire, and the ultimate goal of their perfect desire was attained, and they were so joyous that they had nothing further to desire. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. If one attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he has no desire for anything. So Krishna is everything, right? So when you desire Krishna, then you have no desire for anything else, because all your other desires are so like paltry, they're like insignificant. Only Krishna is the most important object, because in Krishna there's everything, right? So like this, Prabhupada is mentioning that when one desires Krishna, then he does not desire anything else. When the gopis had Krishna in their company, not only all their grief, but their lamenting in the absence of Krishna was relieved. They felt that they had no desire to fulfill. Fully satisfied in the company of Krishna, they spread their cloth on the ground. These garments were made of fine linen and smeared with red kunkuma, which decorated their breasts. With great care, they spread a sitting place for Krishna. Krishna was their life and soul, and he created a very comfortable seat for. They created a very comfortable seat for him. So so when we do Pujari service also, we do it to the best of our ability. We give Krishna the very best of everything, right? As Krishna desires. And so in the scripture, it is being described how to worship Krishna, and only the best is given to Krishna. So in this way, when the devotees offer to Krishna, then they offer the very best. And if sometimes the devotees don't have the very best to offer, they may be poor or don't have the amenities to offer Krishna, then in their meditation they offer the different items to Krishna like this, and Krishna accepts their meditation because it's filled with bhakti, with love and devotion. He accepts this meditation. So sometimes you may not be very opulent, but you want to offer the most opulent thing, prasad to Krishna, right? Food to Krishna. And then in your meditation, you can meditate that you're offering, nice sabjis and juices, different kinds of juices, pakoras, kachoris, like this. You can offer in your meditation, you can offer to Krishna. Like this. So like once Sanatana Goswami, he was meditating that he was offering sweet rice to Krishna, and in his meditation he put his finger to see if this sweet rice is hot, because he doesn't want to offer Krishna very hot items, because Krishna will burn his tongue, or his mouth. So in this way he tried to feel the sweet rice, and when he, in his meditation, when he put his finger into the pot, his finger got burnt, and so this was the power of his bhakti, and that means Krishna, he accepted the sweet rice in meditation, like that. So you may say, well, I'm not as elevated as Sanatana Goswami, but yes, whatever bhakti you have, whatever love you have in your heart for the Lord, by following the 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, this is all done out of love for Krishna, because no ordinary person can just come to the Hare Krishna movement and start, practicing like this. One has to have the favor of Krishna. One has to have the favor of Krishna to practice bhakti yoga. So in this way, when Krishna gives his mercy, then only the devotee can actually practice. And Krishna is within the heart of every living entity, and he knows what's in your heart, right? And gradually, step by step, while practicing devotional service, and our hearts are cleansed, and then we derive pure love of God. So in the meantime, as sadhana bhaktis or bhaktas, we can actually offer whatever we have in our possession to the Supreme Lord, and he will accept it. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or little water, I will accept it. So, he's not asking for much, right? So we can offer like this. There is a very significant word in this verse, Ishvara. It is, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. Ishvara refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a super soul seated in everyone's heart. Krishna also manifests the potency of expansion as Paramatma in this gathering with the gopis. Krishna was sitting by the side of each gopi, unseen by the others. Krishna was so kind to the gopis that instead of sitting in their hearts, he to be appreciated in yogic meditation, he seated himself by their side. By seating himself outside, he showed special favor to the gopis, who were the selected beauties of all creation. So we see that, people say, oh, Krishna, why did Krishna have so many wives? And, he's a debauchee, he's this, he's that. But he's the Supreme Lord, he can do like this. He's situated in everyone's heart. And if he just jumps out of your heart and he comes sit next to you, who can blame him, right? So, and he basically accepts these gopis as their lover, their husband, like this. So in this way, everything belongs to Krishna, right? Nothing belongs to us. My wife, you say my wife, my children, my this, my that, but nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to Krishna, right? And Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita also, that everything belongs to him. In the Sri Upanishad actually, that, Ishavasham idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. Tena tektena bunjinta madgrita svita kashasvidanam. That actually everything animate and inanimate in this world belongs to the Supreme Lord, and one should Shishi Radharadna Taki Jai. And one should use those things that are allotted to him and not encroach on anyone else's property, right? So in this way, basically Krishna owns and controls everything. And then you'll say, yeah, well, if Krishna owns and controls everything, he owns the gopis as well, he owns all living entities, because we all are coming from him. We are all part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So if Krishna takes something and use it for his, for his pleasure, who can blame him, right? Like, if you, I was giving a class the other day, and I was saying, if you own a car, right, and if you take the car for a drive, can anyone, point fingers at you and accuse you of stealing the car? No, because you own the car, right? So similarly, Krishna, he owns everything. He owns the gopis also, and he owns us as well, because we belong to him. So if he uses the gopis for his pleasure, can you say that he was dancing with other men's wives in the middle of the night? Can you say this? No, because because all of us belong to Krishna. All the jivas belong to Krishna. So we cannot blame him for doing this, right? So and we find that people with less intelligence, or with limited knowledge, they have no information about this. So only when you come to Krishna consciousness and read Prabhupada's books, and then you can understand the deeper meaning of all these things, and how they all make sense, basically. Otherwise, people just accuse Krishna of dancing with other men's wives in the middle of the night, and he displayed all these pastimes, and I don't want to worship like a god like that. People say, I'd rather worship Ramachandra because he only accepted one wife, right? So we find like this, people, they speak like this because they don't have deeper information about who Krishna really is. And only when you come to Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then you'll understand the exact position of Krishna. Otherwise you cannot understand, right? So let's continue reading. Some of them took his lotus feet in their laps and massaged them. And while smiling, they confidentially expressed their suppressed anger and said, "Dear Krishna, we are ordinary women of Vrindavan, and we do not know much about the Vedic knowledge, what is right and what is wrong. We therefore put a question to you, and since you are very learned, you can answer it properly. In dealing between lovers, we find that there are three classes of men. One class simply receives. Another class reciprocates favorably, even if the lover is very contrary. The third class neither acts contrary nor answers favorably in the dealings of the love. So out of these three classes, which do you prefer? Or which do you call honest?" So, this is like a trick question, right, to Krishna. out of all these three kinds of lovers, like which kind of lover are you? And in answer, Krishna said, my dear friends, persons who simply reciprocate with loving dealings of the other party are like merchants. They give in loving affairs as much as they get from the other party. Practically, there is no question of love. It is simply self-interested or self-centered business dealings. So, we have devotees coming to the temple. They're in different levels, right? And so, some of them would come and they would offer some fruit and milk, and they would ask Krishna for a nice big house, color TV, house by the sea, like this. So this is like a business deal with Krishna. Krishna, I'm giving you this, I want this. Right? This is a business deal. So Krishna is explaining this type of love. It's like this. It's a business deal, right? And then he goes further and he says, practically there is no question of love. It is simply self-interested or self-centered business dealings. Even those without a tinge of loving affairs are better than these merchants. Better than the first class is a second class of men who love in spite of the opposite party's contrariness. Such sincere love can be seen when the father and mother love their children in spite of their children's neglect. So, parents basically, they offer selfless service to their children, right? They don't expect anything in return. Obviously, nowadays, the parents expect, when their children grow up, they can become a doctor, a lawyer, and, they'll earn lots of money, and, they'll support them. But we see this is not even happening in this world, in today's world. The children grow up, they go overseas, they try to make a life for themselves, they neglect their parents, and this is going on in modern world. But what to do? We're living in Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is like this, right? It's very self-centered. Everyone is self-centered, and no one has any loving dealings, even for their parents who brought them up in such a difficult way. Clothing them, feeding them, and when they're sick, the parents, they go through enormous stress and pressure just to see that their child, is well taken care of. But the children, when they grow up, they forget the austerities that the parents put in for them, and they just like run off. They can do their own thing. Right, and they put their parents in the old age homes, right? They put the parents in the old age homes. And this is so sad. This is what's going on in today's society. Put the parents in the old age, so we don't have to look after him. We'll just pay money to someone, and they can take care of the parents. Or, better still, they just dump the parents there, and they don't even care. They go and lead their own lives like this. So this is the situation in today's world. So they can be further divided into two classes. One comprises the third class neither reciprocates nor neglects. They can further be divided into two classes. One comprises the self-satisfied who do not require anyone's love. They are called Atmarama, which means they are absorbed in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and so they do not care whether one loves them or not. So we find that, Lord Shiva, the other day was Shivaratri, right? And Lord Shiva is always absorbed in meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's always on a transcendental level. So much so that when Daksha, was having this sacrifice, and he because Lord Shiva was in so much of ecstasy, experiencing transcendental bliss because he was meditating on the Supreme Lord, that when his father-in-law came, he neglected to actually acknowledge him, and in this way, because he did not neglect him out of self-centeredness, but he neglected him because he was in deep meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was in a transcendental bliss, meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And actually Lord Shiva has a higher position as a devotee. He has a higher position than Daksha, right? Although Daksha was his father-in-law, he was basically more exalted. We know that in scripture it is being described that Lord Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas. So in this way, Daksha got very offended, and he started to curse, throw curses at Lord Shiva. And in this way, there was a whole scenario going on in the 4th canto. You can go and read that up, 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so many offenses he made to Lord Shiva like this. So so let's go on. But another class compromises ungrateful men. They are called callous. The men in this group revolt against superior persons. For instance, a son, in spite of receiving all kinds of things from the loving parents, may be callous and not reciprocate. Those in this class are generally known as Guru Druha, which means they receive favors from the parents or the spiritual master and yet neglect them. So, so this is a 3rd class of devotee who receives benedictions from the spiritual master and favors from the parents, and he just neglects them. So Krishna indirectly answered the questions of the gopis. Even those questions were implied that Krishna did not properly reciprocate their dealings. In answer, Krishna said that he, as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, is self-satisfied, Atmaram, right? So he is self-satisfied. He does not require anyone's love. But at the same time, he said that he is most ungrateful. So how can we understand this? At the same time, he said that he's not ungrateful. So we see that here, how can we understand that Krishna is self-satisfied? He does not need our love. But yet when someone comes and offers him something with love, he accepts it, right? He's not ungrateful. So he's talking to the gopis, and, he's basically telling them that, I cannot reciprocate with your love for me, because they are on such a high, exalted level, and they love Krishna unconditionally. And here Krishna is saying, I cannot repay your love for you. I cannot repay you for this love that you have for me, right? So it is being described that actually Krishna, he falls in this 3rd class category also, because he cannot reciprocate with the gopis' love for him. This is how much they love him, that he cannot reciprocate. And that is one of the reasons, why he comes down as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to experience this love that the gopis have for him. Because he cannot actually fathom this love, and then he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience this love. And he's giving this love to all of us as well. How does he give this love? By the chanting of the Hare Krishna. Mahamantra is imbued with love of God. So all we need to do is just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and experience this love, taste this love that Krishna is hankering for, right? The gopis' love for him. So he goes on speaking, and let's hear what Krishna has to say. My dear friends, Krishna continued, you might be aggrieved by my words and act, but you must know that sometimes I do not reciprocate with my devotees' dealings with me. My devotees are very much attached to me, but sometimes I do not reciprocate their feelings properly in order to increase their love for me more and more. So, in order for our Krishna for our love to actually expand, Krishna, he neglects us. He does. So this is on a very high level, right? We cannot understand this. And the gopis, he neglects them, and they like as in the rasa dance, he left them and he went away. He did not reciprocate with their love, but because of their intensity of love for him, they could not stop thinking of Krishna. They just thought of him like, 24/7 they were thinking of Krishna, because, and they were increasing their love for him by talking to one another about Krishna's activities, right? And they were saying, like, how Krishna, he did this, and how Krishna, he did that, and they were talking about his activities with them, and they could not stop thinking of Krishna. And we see also that the more one talks about Krishna, the more that their love for him increases, and the more one hears about Krishna also. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given us a Krishna book. He's given us Srimad Bhagavatam so that we can hear about Krishna like this all the time and think of him. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Mana bhava mad bhakto mam yaji mam namaskuru," right? That one should think of me always, pays obeisances to me, worship me, like this. Always think of me. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given us all these books so that we can read and understand who Krishna is. And when we understand who Krishna is, then our love for him actually increases, because you cannot love someone you do not know, right? If I tell you, go and love that girl, like, which girl, what, how to, you'll be confused, like. But if you know the person, and then it's easier to love them, right? So in this way, if you know Krishna, then it's easy to love him. So let's continue reading. Krishna is so easily available. Where am I? Right in the right place here. If I can very easily be approached by them, they might think Krishna is so easily available. So sometimes I do not respond. If a person has no money, but after some time accumulates some wealth and then loses it, he will think of the lost property 24 hours a day. Similarly, in order to increase the love of my devotees, sometimes I appear to be lost to them. And instead of forgetting me, they feel their loving sentiments for me increase. My dear friends, do not think for a moment that I have been dealing with you as I do with ordinary devotees. I know what you are. You have forsaken all kinds of social and religious obligations. You have given up all connection with your parents without caring for social conventions and religious obligations. You have come to me and love me, and I am so much obliged to you, and I cannot treat you as an ordinary devotee. Do you think that I was away from you? I was near you. I was simply seeing how much you were anxious for me in my absence. So please do not try to find fault with me. Because you consider me so dear to you, kindly excuse me if I have done anything wrong. I cannot repay your continuous love for me, even throughout the lifetimes of the demigods in the heavenly planets. It is impossible to repay you and show enough gratitude for your love. Therefore, please be satisfied with your own pious activities. You have displayed exemplary attraction for me, overcoming the greatest difficulties arising from family connections. Please be satisfied with your high exemplary character, for it is not possible for me to repay my debt to you. So here Krishna is actually, he's taking the humble position in one sense. He's asking them to please forgive him because he cannot repay their debt, the debts that, to the gopis. The exemplary character of devotional service manifested by the devotees of Vrindavan is the purest type of devotion. It is enjoined in authoritative Shastra, the devotional service must be ahetaki apratihata. Right, like we find in the Nectar of Devotion, this verse, Anya Bilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. That devotional service should be uninterrupted and unmotivated in order to completely satisfy Krishna. So, and we should serve Krishna favorably the way Krishna wants us to serve him, and not serve him the way we think Krishna is going to be pleased, right? If you're thirsty and you ask for water and I come and give you, some nice juice, or a lassi like this, you won't be satisfied. But if because you ask for water, so basically one must give you what you want, water, and that will quench your thirst. So in this way, we should give Krishna what Krishna desires, right? This means that devotional service to Krishna cannot be checked by political or religious conventions. The stage of devotional service is always transcendental. The gopis particularly showed pure devotional service towards Krishna, so much so that Krishna himself remained indebted to them. Lord Chaitanya thus said that the devotional service manifested by the gopis in Vrindavan excelled all other methods of approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we find in Shastra, there's different ways one can approach the Supreme Lord, but of all these ways and methods, the gopis' love is the highest. So sometimes people, they worship Krishna. As we're reading here, the different loving exchanges, or maybe no love, but they just come and have like an ordinary dealing with Krishna, like a bartering effect, I give you this and you give me that. So that's one type of worship, but at least they're coming to Krishna. Right, in the Bhagavatam, it is being stated also. How does the verse go? Akama sarvakamo va mokshakam udharidi trivyena bhakti yogena jayatet purusham param. That whether one is full of material desires or have no material desires or desires liberation, by all means one should come worship Krishna. So this is for the neophyte devotees. But as one advances in Krishna consciousness, then one, will want to worship Krishna the way Krishna wants to be worshipped. As we quoted that verse from the Nectar of Devotion, Anya Bilasita Sunyam. So like this, there's different types of people who have different types of mellows or loving reciprocation with Krishna. And we see that, in Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, the gopis are the topmost. But there are different levels also in Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna and his cowherd friends, right? They would jump on the back of Krishna, and when they play and Krishna loses, so they'll have a game like this, and Krishna loses, and then the side that loses will have to carry the side that won on their backs, and and go like donkey derby. They will run around, and in this way, they experience so much of fun. Right, the cowherd boys and Krishna. So this is one type of love, right? Friendship. But all love is actually, in the spiritual world, is perfect, because Krishna wants this type of reciprocation from his devotees, right? And so in this way, we find that there are different types of rasas, right? And then Krishna, Mother Yashoda and Krishna Krishna appears as a child, and he reciprocates with the loving feelings of Mother Yashoda for him, right? And Mother Yashoda takes a stick and she wants to whack Krishna, right? She chases him all over, and eventually catches him and binds him up, So you say that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Boys are climbing on his back, Mother Yashoda is chasing him with a stick. What type of God is this, right? But we see that Krishna is perfect in whichever way he is. Like even as a baby, he kills the demoness Putana, and in this way, he's still the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full of all attributes and qualities and loving reciprocations, right? That he can, because the love of the residents of Vrindavan is so pure, it's imbued with so much of love and devotion that that Krishna becomes subservient to their love. Like as he's mentioning here, that he cannot repay the gopis for their love. They love him so intensely that he cannot repay this love, this debt to the gopis, like this. So this is Vrindavan. This is Vrindavan, that it's imbued with love. And then all our centers around the world is also meant to bring us to this point of loving Krishna. We are practicing sadhana bhakti, right? Following rules and regulations on how to worship Krishna. But in time, we can actually come to the stage. We are like the green mango. The green mango, as long as it's on the tree, right, it will ripen. So as long as we are under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, the Supreme Lord, we will actually ripen in time and become this fully fledged ripened mango, which is juicy and succulent. And our love will actually blossom like that. And where we can go back to the spiritual world. It may seem very far-fetched for us at this point, but yes, we can go back to the spiritual world and have loving dealings with Krishna face to face, and whatever type of love that we have in our hearts for the Lord will reciprocate with that love for us. He will reciprocate in the same way. So this love is not very far-fetched. It's right on our fingertips and in our bead bags, basically, right? Just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can actually imbibe this love that the residents of Vrindavan have for Krishna. So I'll stop here now. And if you have any questions or you'd like to make any comment, you're most welcome to do so. Anyone? If you don't have, then we can close up. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.